Ave Legion and welcome to my channel. My name is Ludi and today we're gonna do our Andalusia, or better yet Granada into Andalusia within 20 years. If we get 3,000 likes on the video, I'm also gonna do a Navarra achievements guide. And I want to challenge you. If I do manage to form Andalusia in 20 years or before 20 years, you need to subscribe to the channel. So great, we have a deal, let's do this! So the very first thing we're gonna do as Granada when we start up the game is we are gonna go for the taxation policy, and we'll go for lenient taxation, which means that more nations are gonna be willing to ally us. As you can see, we have a few choices here. We already sent an alliance option to the Tunisians, and we have started getting a spy network on Tlemcen, since we want to be attacking Tlemcen at the very beginning, before our truce with the Castilians finishes. Estates wise, as always, give out the +1 mill power and admin power, and we will give the +1 diplo, but we need to develop our lands first for a little bit, set up encourage development edict, and we need to wait for 1 month before we can actually develop the provinces, since we have 56 points and we need 57 to develop these. 1 month has passed and now we shall be developing this province once, since we have encouraged development, dev it up, and now we can give +1 diplo points. We've also given out the supremacy over the crown, oversight by the clergy, private trade fleets, and promote the demi-nobles. Now that that's done, we can also sell titles for 116 ducats and seize land right after. We are still getting 0.30 monthly autonomy. If we develop once, we're going to get rid of that. So it's your choice. You could develop your admin points once, or you can just wait until after the war with Tlemcen is over, since that's going to increase our crownlands to about 20% crownlands from the newly conquered provinces. We're also going to be giving out the patronage of the arts to get some more prestige for the coming war, and we've set our trade fleet to protect trade in the Sevilla trade node, which gave us quite a bit of extra cash. If Castile didn't attack Morocco by 46 or so, then it's quite safe to ally them, because they normally attack Morocco once they support the independence of Sus, which was not the case in my situation. If they do support the independence of Sus and they go to war with Morocco, that is actually a great thing, since we can just attack Castile when their army is in the Moroccan side and prevent them from actually coming back onto the European side. However, that didn't happen for us, so I am going to ally them. Alliance with Morocco is not that bad actually, and we can even call them in the war against Tlemcen, but because Tlemcen's got only 7,000 troops together with their ally, who I am going to co-belligerate, I am not going to call them in. I've also recruited a couple more cogs in the meanwhile, and we will be transporting our troops here via the sea tile that we have in the Gulf of Almeria. Also, make sure to recruit the Free Company, and you can make your leader a general. We're gonna get a new leader soon after the Granadan succession event, or better yet disaster, so it doesn't matter if he actually dies in the war. In fact, it's probably better if he dies in the war, since he is an absolute tool of a human being. 110, same league as Mr. Enrique here. What is up with Iberian people, man? I recommend that you also rush the forts in Tlemcen, since unlikely what's going to happen is Morocco and Tunis are going to be attacking Tlemcen. It happened in my case. So now I have to take as much land as I can before the Moroccans or the Tunisians take these lands. Especially you want to take the capital and the city of Dharma, which is a fortified province. You will early on get the disaster for the Granadan War of Succession. Let it happen, and you want this guy to actually enforce, so whenever he's sieging down your forts here, especially the one in Malacca, you want to let him siege it fast, so we will not be maintaining this, giving the rebels a very easy time with this. At the same time, stay on the forts. Eventually the Moroccans and Tunisians might even help you siege these down, and it's fine if they take the rest of the provinces, as long as you take the coastline and the 2 cities by Morocco here. As part of the event chain, they will ask you to set Yusuf as an heir. Do not accept this offer. Get the 2 war exhaustion. It is a-okay. We want them to enforce and get rid of our actual leader here, which is a 110, not to set this guy as a heir. Remember that also getting a spy network in Tlemcen is going to increase the siege ability that you have and improve relations with the Ottomans at the same time, since we might be able to get an alliance with them right after this war. The rebels are about to enforce their demands on us, and we're going to get a brand new leader here There you go. Cease of hostilities, 1 stability, 10 legitimacy, and our new leader is actually an absolute Chad Lord, Yusuf the Chad 534 Herp Derp. And we even got a pretty decent Nasrid heir. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? I did. I thought about it. Alright, now we can do the mission Rout the Pretenders, which makes no sense because we are the Pretenders. But anyway, now we can also take lands from Tlemcen, and we were lucky enough to be able to take the coastline, fully annex the coastline, get all the money that you can take from them as well. And now we're going to do a pro-gamer move, as we will be releasing the nation of Algiers, which means that we're going to grow both in strength, and we can also concentrate development in these newly conquered lands before we core them up for ourselves. You could give Oran to Algiers, but I recommend you keep it for yourself. You need the actual power base for the war to come against Castile. You will have a little bit of war exhaustion, so you can use some Diplo points if you really want to. I recommend that you don't, however. Start moving your troops back to Castile, as the big bad war is about to happen in just a little bit of time. Oh, come on. Seriously? Morocco, you didn't fully annex them? Really now? This is why you should never let the AI take provinces. It really is just like such a meme. Now I'm gonna have to go to war with Tlemcen again in 15 years. Or actually, wait, how many? Yep, 15 years. But since we improved relations with the Ottomans, we were lucky enough to get the alliance, as they now have a friendly attitude towards us, and because our overall strength has grown from taking the 2 extra provinces and releasing Algiers as a vassal. So we can rest assured the Castilians are not gonna attack us unless they will attack us. Regardless, we are getting a spy network on them because we will be making the first step. One more thing I should have pointed out is that I've gotten a morale of armies advisor, and I focused on military points, since that means I'm going to be one of the first nations to get military tech. And as I previously mentioned, as you can see here, we got quite a bit of crownlands from taking over the Tlemceni lands. Would have gotten more if I didn't release Algeria and if I took a little bit more land from Tlemcen, however. Guys, I'll be honest, in 1.31 it's actually quite easy as Granada defeating Castile because of this amazing feature. The favor system is way better than it was in 1.30. So because of that, we can call in both Morocco and Tunis to fight the Castilians and their most likely ally of Portugal. So troop wise, you should be on equal terms, but if you rush military tech 4, you're gonna have a massive advantage over the Castilians. That being said, however, what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be selling titles so we get some money for this war. We're also gonna go for the indebted to the Merchants Guild to get 5 loans at 1% interest, and we will be setting this to the defensive edict, as well as set the Aisawa as the holy order for this state, which is going to give us some more military in our provinces, 1 military per province, which means that we can recruit even more troops going over our land force limit. And because we got all of those loans, we're going to be recruiting the best mercenary companies that we can recruit, as well as even the worst ones. That is correct. Recruit every mercenary company that you can recruit. This is going to be a lightning war Granada edition. And now that we've recruited the mercenaries and they got a little bit of morale, we can attack the Castilians. Do not co-belligerate Portugal, as that's going to bring in England. We don't want to fight England just yet. Call in both Morocco and Tunis, and let's do this. Make sure you take your war goal. In my case, that is the province of Jaén. Keep this war goal, as it is going to give you 25% taking war score that you really need to finish this war as fast as possible. Make sure that you attack and you destroy Castilian armies whenever you can see them split off from the main contingent, and also assign objectives to your allies. Go to this screen here, and for example, you want the fort of Ceuta to be sieged as soon as possible by Morocco so that their troops can start pouring into the Iberian Peninsula. You will pretty much be alone until you do that. Also, make sure that you allow allies to board in case they want to get over to Iberia via the ships that we have. And if they have a faster general, do your best to catch him in the adjacent provinces wherever he might be retreating. So here, for example, we will be able to pretty much fully destroy the Castilian army since we have better morale and our troops have way better pips than the pips of the Castilians, plus the general is an absolute Chad. Remember, Jaén must hold for the ticking war score, and your best defense is a quick, strong Blitzkrieg. If Castile is allied to Portugal, and 90% of the times they will be, focus first on Portugal so that we can piece them out. We don't have a strong economy, so we can take up to 69 bank loans. Oh, okay, 69. Not that any of you guys would ever be able to take 69. So our main focus from the Portuguese War is going to be to take the province of Algarve and as much money as we can. Peace out, the Portuguese. You want to take this province as well in Ceuta, but if it's not possible and it means that the war is going to drag on for longer, it's not worth it. Just peace them out so you can focus on the Castilians. The Castilians, even though I stack wiped them twice, they still probably have more troops than I do. So you got to be very careful in this war with what you do. Use the money that you take to cover up your loans, and remember to always assign objectives to your various allies and vassals and whatever you want to assign objectives to. While Castile was busy sieging down Malacca and didn't even successfully siege it down, I managed to pretty much carpet siege their whole country, so I can peace them out. I am gonna take all of this here, and guess what? Aragon attacked them also. Double whammy. Castile, you died it. I'm gonna ease up the amount of money that I take from them, so I'm not gonna go full on Rambo. I'm gonna take only 116, out of which only a small amount of that actually goes to me, 53 ducats. And we do have a slight coalition of nations here, but it's okay, they're not really gonna join in against us. We all know this. We also can lower our war exhaustion a little bit since we have quite a lot of war exhaustion now. And of course, we will be concentrating development in all of these provinces, making it easier for us to core this up. But do not do so in La Mancha, since we want to get as much of the gold as we possibly can. La Mancha gold being what will sustain us in future wars. If you are about to go bankrupt, which in my case is not really the case, I can take up to 37 loans. I have 20 loans. I'm going to pay off as many of the 4% loans as I can, and I'm going to take another 1% loans and pay off the other 4%ers. Take note that these loans are 39 ducats, whilst I can take 75 ducats now because of the amount of land that I've taken and since I've grown as a country. So I actually can take even regular 4% loans and pay off the older loans to keep me afloat for the time being. Also, you can sell even more crownlands after it is available. We can bring our boys back home now, and since you don't need that many troops anymore, you can disband some of these mercenary companies, especially the really expensive ones. And we can also core up everything else here. Also, you want to release the nation of Leon after the war as a vassal, since Leon is going to have a lot of cores on Castile for your next war against them. Another thing to note is that one of your starting missions requires that you have either 150 relations with the Moroccans or you rival them. I recommend that you rival them, since after the war they will break the alliance if you didn't give them any lands, and I don't recommend that you give them any lands. After rivaling, send them a scornful insult as well, and that's going to give you 25 prestige alongside morale of armies plus 5%. You want to start getting claims on them as well, since we will be attacking them right after the truce is over. A couple of really important things to do after you finish coring all of these lands is, first off, dev this mine to 10 production development. I am still Diplotech 3, and I will be staying Diplotech and Admin Tech 3 for a while, as I think this is much more important to get it to level 10, so that with that we get enough income to have a positive balance, and with the positive balance we can attack the Castilians or Aragonese, depending on whichever nation wins the war here. Well, regardless, I still have to attack Aragon. Another very important thing to do is to, of course, lower the autonomy. This means that you're gonna get more income from all of these provinces. So we were 3 point something, we went up to 6.3. That is an extra 3 ducats from lowering the autonomy. Couple this up with selling titles, and we got enough money to pretty much pay off most of our loans here. We got 4 loans left. That is insane. This is within the first 10 years, everybody. Not really surprised that Aragon won the war. Castile was in a pretty bad state as it was. And also, I have Castilian separatists because I lowered the autonomy by quite a lot. I recommend that you let them spawn so you can kill them off before you start your war against Aragon or Castile again, or even Morocco. Right, now we're pretty much ready for this. We're bringing back our boy from Leon, and it's a reconquista time, boys. We are gonna be slightly outnumbered here, but Well, actually, Savoy might not join since they are in a war if we wait for a little while. Let's give it a little bit of a wait and see what happens. Alright, I waited for long enough. Savoy is still gonna join in the war, so I'm just gonna declare the war. Set your war target to something really close to you, and it's reconquista time, boys, for the second time in a row. Let's go. This should be a fairly easy war. They came out of the war against the Castilians. Not sure how many troops they might have around here. I know Savoy is a pretty big beast, but hopefully they'll be tied up in their Milan war, so they're not gonna bother with me too much. I don't want too much from Aragon. I literally just want 3 provinces from the south, and that is it. Maybe a little bit of cash as well, so we should be able to get all of this if we get the province of Valencia and maybe one more fort, since Valencia is actually their capital. Ah yes, the Castilian separatists, brave and loyal troopers, ready to reassign these provinces to the rightful owner, not silly Aragon. That being said, I'm not really into fighting this war for too long, so I am just going to take the 4 provinces I need to form Andalusia, and as much money as I can take, apparently not maximum amount of money, but I'll just go for as much as possible so that I can pay off some of my loans. Should be a little bit of a coalition, but we should be a-okay. We got some strong allies, namely Ottomans, so I don't think anyone's going to declare on us. Go back home, please, boyos, and we will be concentrating development and coring these up, of course. We also have to take care of our filthy rebels in the south provinces here. Oh, no, England joined into a coalition. We might need to get some allies here, or things will get nasty. December 19, 1463, a day that will live in infamy, because we can actually restore Al-Andalus. There you go, and we are gonna go for the new traditions and ambitions, since it means that we get 15 morale of armies, goods produced, fire damage received -15, tolerance of heathens, idea cost, even colonists, core creation cost, manpower, and a lot of other goodies. It is insane how great these ideas are and how amazing these sprites look. Look at that sweet beard over there. Jesus, man. I wish I could grow a beard now. Also, because of the nation of Andalus, we have a lot more missions now, and these missions will essentially give us claims on the entirety of North Africa, all the way into Persia, actually. And we've done this in just 19 years. So guys, when it comes to your later expansion, obviously finish giving the cores back to your Leonese vassal here, and of course take over all of Iberia, North Africa, and start exploring. Andalusia, aside from being a massively overpowered conqueror, is also a great colonizer. And remember that you also have the Holy Order, so you can assign these whenever you have all the provinces in a particular state, and when you do, you get 1 base production for each province in the state, or 1 manpower, or even 1 tax, but I recommend that you either go for the base production or the manpower. Aside from the bonus the Holy Order gives, getting 5 production for 50 points is actually insane at the start of the game. Idea wise, you of course want to go for exploration ideas if you're gonna go colonial, and I highly recommend that you do so, followed up by expansion ideas to colonize the entire world and establish the Andalusian world empire. If you don't want to go colonial, which would be weird, but I completely understand, I guess, you can also assign quantity ideas. Trade, as the Sevilla trade node is one of the best trade nodes in the world, and if you do go colonial, exploration, expansion, trade with quantity is a great idea too. Mix in religious if you want to expand into Europe, into the fray, and you have the recipe for absolute chadness. I have already gotten the Reconquista achievement on my Twitch channel live, so if you guys want to watch me do another Granada run where I go colonial rather than expand like crazy, you can check out my Twitch. You'll find a description with the link to my Twitch account. And remember that if we get 3,000 likes on the video, I'm also going to do a guide for Navarra with the achievement. I also want to give a very special thank you to all of my patrons and channel members, as well as my Twitch subscribers. Thank you so much, guys, for all the support. I wouldn't be able to make these videos without you.